Ambassador Elena Vasquez stepped onto the crystalline platform of the Zephyrian Imperial Palace, her modest diplomatic attire a stark contrast to the towering spires of living metal that scraped the purple sky above. Around her, alien dignitaries from across the galaxy whispered in hushed tones, their various appendages trembling with barely contained fear. The Zephyrian Empire had summoned representatives from every known species to witness what they called the Final Declaration. For 3 millennia, the Zephyrians had ruled through terror. Their ships could glass entire worlds with a thought, their technology so advanced that other species might as well have been throwing rocks at gods. They had conquered, enslaved, and eliminated countless civilizations, leaving only those useful enough to serve as tributaries. Today, Emperor Vexthul would announce the expansion into the final unconquered sector of the galaxy, a small region containing a young species that called themselves humans. Elena had requested this audience knowing full well what it meant. Humanity had been preparing for this moment since first contact 3 years ago, when Zephyrian scouts had graciously informed Earth that they had exactly 1 standard galactic cycle to prepare for integration into the Empire. Other species had begged, fought, or simply accepted their fate. Elena had chosen a different path. The Emperor materialized on his throne, literally materialized, his consciousness shifting between dimensions as easily as breathing. Vexthul stood 12 feet tall, his form a constantly shifting mass of dark energy contained within an elaborate exoskeleton that pulsed with the power of a small star. When he spoke, reality itself seemed to bend around his words. "Behold," his voice thundered across dimensions, "the representatives of our final conquest. The species known as humans has sent this creature to speak for them." His form rippled with amusement. "We are told she wishes to negotiate." Laughter echoed from the assembled alien nobility, beings who had long ago learned that the Emperor's entertainment was their only path to survival. Elena stood perfectly still, her hands clasped behind her back, her expression serene. "Your Imperial Majesty," she said, her voice carrying clearly despite its softness. "I come not to negotiate but to inform." The laughter died. In 3,000 years, no one had ever spoken to Emperor Vexthul in such a tone. "You amuse us, little primate." The Emperor's voice crackled with dark energy. "Tell us, what could your infant species possibly inform the eternal Zephyrian Empire about?" Elena smiled, not the desperate grin of someone trying to charm their way out of death, but the patient expression of a teacher about to deliver a lesson. "We'd like to inform you that your empire ended approximately 47 minutes ago." The assembled dignitaries gasped. Several smaller species actually fainted. Emperor Vexthul's form solidified as his attention focused entirely on the small human woman. "Impossible. Our fleets are gone," Elena continued calmly. "All 47,000 ships. Every orbital platform, every star fortress, every dimensional anchor holding your empire together. Gone." "You lie." The Emperor's rage began to warp space around him. "No weapon in the galaxy could—" "You're absolutely right," Elena agreed pleasantly. "No weapon could accomplish such a thing. Which is why we didn't use weapons." She gestured to a small device on her wrist. "This is a quantum communicator. 47 minutes ago, I sent a very simple message to my government. 1 word. Proceed." The Emperor's form flickered between dimensions as he reached out with senses that could perceive across star systems. What he found, or rather what he didn't find, made him stumble backward. "What have you done?" he whispered. "We studied you," Elena explained, her voice never rising above conversational level. "For 3 years, every probe you sent to Earth, every diplomatic message, every casual demonstration of your power, we studied it all. Do you know what we discovered?" She paused, looking directly at the Emperor's shifting form. "You're not gods. You're just bullies with very sophisticated technology. And there's one thing humans are exceptionally good at dealing with." Elena's smile widened slightly. "You see, Your Former Majesty, while you were busy terrifying the galaxy for 3 millennia, humans were developing something you never had to worry about. Patience. We learned to take apart every piece of technology you ever let us see. We reverse-engineered not just your ships and weapons, but your entire infrastructure." She tapped her communicator again. "We didn't attack your empire. We simply turned it off. Every quantum relay, every power coupling, every dimensional stabilizer that holds your technology together, We now control them all. One synchronized pulse, transmitted through your own communication networks, and your great empire is now just a collection of very surprised people floating in space, wondering why their god technology stopped working. The Emperor's form was becoming increasingly unstable as the reality of the situation sank in. But how? Our security was designed to stop conquest, not understanding, Elena replied. You never imagined someone would spend 3 years teaching themselves to speak your language better than you do. Every weakness, every backdoor, every assumption you built into your systems, we found them all. She looked around at the assembled aliens, most of whom were staring at her in shock. The Zephyrian Empire is finished. Your ships are drifting hulks, your planets are cut off from each other, and your slaves are free. But here's the thing, we're not interested in ruling you. We're just interested in making sure you never rule anyone else again. Elena turned back to the Emperor, whose form was now barely maintaining cohesion. You wanted to conquer humanity, but you made one crucial mistake. You gave us time to prepare, and when humans have time to prepare, she shrugged. Well, ask any tyrant in our history how that usually works out. As if responding to her words, massive human ships began materializing around the palace, not through advanced technology, but through the simple expedient of turning the Empire's own cloaking systems against them. Elena bowed politely to the Emperor, whose 3,000-year reign had just ended, with a conversation. We'll be sending representatives to help coordinate humanitarian aid and assist with the transition to self-governance for all former Zephyrian territories. Have a pleasant day, Your Former Majesty. She turned and walked calmly toward the human ships, leaving behind an empire that had fallen not to superior firepower, but to the patient application of human ingenuity and the revolutionary concept that sometimes the best way to win a war is to make your enemy's weapons stop working. Behind her, Emperor Vexthal's form finally destabilized completely, and for the first time in 3 millennia, the galaxy was quiet.